Alright, so the name of the game today is going to be to pull the interior out of the car and really evaluate how bad just the rust situation is. So, pull the floor mats out, seats, carpet, and kind of see where I'm at. And I'll tell you, I already noticed that I am quite rusty on the seat rail on this side. Should look like that, but it looks like this. So I don't have high hopes for what I'm gonna find. Same thing on this side, on both sides of the driver's side. So I'm gonna get to that. I also was looking at the trunk a little closer, got all the carpeting and mess out of here. And I thought I remember reading that these butt cheeks rust really bad, and I was like, oh, this one looks great. And then I got over to this side, and you can see maybe that it's like retaining water right now. I just pulled the spare tire out of here, and you can see that it's had some water in this wheel well for quite a while. The middle looks like crap, and got a hole right here that he's already addressed, the previous owner addressed at some point. So gonna dig in and see what I'm working with. Alright, so to get these front seats out, you need a 13mm. There's just 2 in the front, and it should be 2 in the back, I believe, probably the same size. Alright, so for the back of the front seats, it's got this little plastic trim, which this little tool should make quick work of that. And beyond that, looks like there's not one on the inside one. It's just going to be another 13mm bolt, which you can probably barely see because there's no light in here. But we're going to pop this trim off and then take that nut off. And there's going to be one of these on the back side of this little plastic piece also. And these are liable to break, but they are still available if you need to grab some spares. And that should just pull off. And then it's going to be the same story on the inside rail. Alright, so I took a second to clear out some of this rust, and then I tapped the socket on a little bit, and then I used a little breaker bar to get some leverage, and it seems to be coming out fine now, which is great because I really thought I was going to round that bolt out and have my first major setback, but it seems like it's coming out okay. And now, in theory, we should be able to pull the whole seat out. Alright, it's going to be the same story on the driver's side, so I'll see you after that one's out. Alright, that's the last one. We should be able to pull the seat out. Alright, that one went a lot smoother, but my goodness, those seats are heavy. Alright, pull the floor mats out. I'm going to take the bottom off of the seat back, at least. I'll have to figure out this center console, maybe a little bit up here, but the goal is to pull the carpet out and see what's underneath, so that's what's next. Okay, so for the back seat, there's supposed to be like a bar, a U-shaped bar like this on the chassis, and then a hook on the bottom of the seat that hooks around it, and you're supposed to have to like fold that flat in order to pull the seat up. But I was just messing with this one, and at least on this side you can kind of see the little hook right there and the little bracket that was not in it at all, so it looks like it never got, the seat must have come out and didn't get hooked back. So gonna check the other side, and this might be easy to pull the back seat out. So maybe you can see they've got the back hook deal still in place, so we're gonna have to push the seat back and around the hook. And then just so you can see it, I guess you wouldn't really push these flat. This is the little hook part, and then that U-shaped bar clips into here. So I guess if it was installed correctly, you would have just had to push it down and backwards, and that would have lifted it up and off the hook shape thing here. Same thing on the center on the back. That's your little hook mount, and just so you can see it on the underside of the seat, here's that U-shaped part I was talking about that hooks underneath it. And then the same thing on the center and the back, there's like a little bar built in right here, and the other one on that side. Alright, so to take the armrest out, which I'm guessing probably helps hold this on as well, it's a 16, and it's the same 16 that's going to hold the bottom of this seat belt. So that's the next thing to do, is pull those out and see where we're at. Alright, so we're at least pivoting on, it looks like, whatever these switches are, which I honestly have no idea what they do. But we got to figure out how to get it off of those switches. Alright, so I didn't want to break anything, but Turbo Brick says we should be able to just pull it off of this center tab here and then unhook these little switch things, which this one doesn't move at all on the driver's side. But pull it off the tab, and then we can unhook these switch things from the back, in theory. We got some wiring coming loose from our little seatbelt light switch here too. We have another set of wiring on this little light, which appears to be right here. Better yet, I think I'm just going to fish it through so it can stay right where it is. Alright, there we go. seatbelt off. We do have, might be hard to see, an interior clippy thing right here. We're going to try and get out without braking. I'll tell you, this is a came out of a Harbor Freight interior trim kit, and it's worth its weight in gold. All right, I think that might be everything we need to get this back portion of the carpet out. That looks terrible. That's where that seatbelt mount was. Let's peel all this back. Try not to rip any of this. We have a Phillips head screw on these vents for the back seats that we got to get out. Alright, let's keep peeling this back. We're free on the driver's side. These little buckle clips. Let's see the picture. These little buckle clips buckle right here to the corners to keep the carpet in place. So you might want to be careful not to rip anything there. Let's see if we can get it all out. So that's what we're left with after the back carpet. I think one of the reasons these cars rust so bad, aside from that they had really crappy undercoating until like 86 or something, is that they have these rubber mats which when they get wet they retain water. So I think that's got a lot to do with like water retention and just rusting from the inside out. So we're going to pull those out. That thing is heavy. It's held some water in the past. Yeah, this one as well is heavier than the other side. It's held water. It's not wet right now, but it's definitely been wet in the past. I might not even put these things back in. They don't seem to be doing any good. I can't imagine they do a whole lot for noise reduction either. So that's our hole. Let's see some light through there. I think we do need to pull this front carpet off and see just what we're working with. Get those mats out from under there anyways. Alright, so I already kind of peeled it back on the driver's side. Doing the same thing on the passenger side. You want to pull these clips out. I don't think I have one here, but you should have one on. Oh, there is one right there. It's just disintegrated. Pull those clips out. That's what holds the carpet down nice and neat. And then if you're careful, you can just pull the carpet out from under all this plastic. Hopefully without tearing anything up. And then peel it back. Which should reveal this big, terrible foam pad that I'm just going to get rid of altogether. floor pan on this one actually looks pretty solid, all things considered. I don't remember noticing anything on the bottom that looked bad, but it's a good good indication that the windshield was definitely leaking over there. All right, so long story short, how far do you think I need to go in repairing this rusty car? For the record, I have no experience with body work at all. This is like something this previous owner has like glued on here. I don't know, maybe to keep moisture out or something. It doesn't look rusty from the bottom down here, but what do I know? Looks like he sprayed something. But this whole floor pan, as far as I can tell, I mean, looks pretty solid the whole way back. And that's what I'm seeing from the top. I mean, there's a little something here I'll definitely clean up, but I can't imagine I need to replace anything on this side. What do you guys have to say? Clean this up, clean all this up. But as far as replacing, what are you guys seeing? Now the driver's side is another story. This one will definitely need some work. I'm assuming I'm gonna end up having to replace the back floor pan, and gotta see how far the rust like goes underneath the seat section, but looks like he sprayed something down here to prevent rust, so it might be rusty underneath that. I'll show it to you from the bottom. You can tell me what you think. Coming from the back of the car, it starts to get rusty right at that back floor pan, and it's super crusty. We've got a nice hole, I'd say probably like 18 inches long and maybe 8 inches wide or so in the front floor pan. And it actually looks like it extends further than that. Up here too. So let me know, what should I do? Gonna have to look into it, I know, do some research, hop on here on YouTube and see what they got to say. And I'm thinking this whole floor pan is gonna need to be replaced. This whole back floor pan is gonna need to be replaced. Passenger side I think is okay with just maybe some repair. Clean that up, gotta see what's going on there. And then here's another shot at what I'm looking at in the trunk. You know, any insight would be appreciated for sure. Again, I think most of this will actually clean up. It feels pretty solid. This, I don't even know what to do with that. Gas tank, I'm assuming, is right there. Which looks like he's done something with that in the past, I would guess. So definitely let me know what you're thinking on the rust situation, those couple of spots. And the fender right here is mainly what I'm concerned about. So any help would be appreciated if you made it this far. Really grateful on anything you got to tell me.